Welcome back to Figs Talks Fights. I'm your host, Brian Figueredo. Today, let's talk about this Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns fight. Just took place this Saturday, May the 30th, past Saturday, May the 30th at the Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, your winner on the scorecards ends up being Gilbert Burns, 50-45, 50-44, 50-45. This was an absolute clinic. Okay, coming into this fight, I was a little bit iffy on if we're going to see the Woodley of old come back. I mean, because Woodley was coming off losing his title into this fight, and anytime he's lost prior in the past, you see his next fight after, he comes out on fire, all right? That's usually after a loss is when you'll see some of his best performances, coming off the loss to Jake Shields, then knocks out Josh Koscheck, goes into the Condit fight, and that's the run that got him to the title in the first place, okay? The Rory McDonald fight when he lost to him, coming back against Dong Hyun Kim, all right? Expecting something a little bit different, but I mean, Gilbert Burns, holy shit, what the hell can you say about him? I did not see a resurgence in this guy becoming a top contender at 170 pounds. Now, let's pull the brakes a little. He just did have two great performances back-to-back with Damian Maia and Tyron Woodley, okay? You could definitely say Damian Maia is a little bit longer in the tooth. Obviously, he's at the very end of his career now, but still, what an amazing feat to knock him out in Brazil, okay? And then this Woodley fight, I mean, how the hell did Gilbert Burns used to make 155 pounds before as well? No crap. I understand he's a little thicker, now coming up to 170 pounds. But I mean, I even thought the size disparity between these two guys was somewhat significant. Now, Woodley looked lean as hell, and Woodley looked like he was just playing his typical game, okay? So this fight begins. Gilbert Burns starts to pressure immediately, and Woodley does what he normally does, backs up and fights off that back foot and just circles around the cage. It just seems like Woodley was waiting for one major moment to happen, and he couldn't get to it, okay? Gilbert Burns ends up catching him with a big shot in the first round, putting freaking Tyron Woodley out on Fumbly Street, okay? Just dancing around, gets a takedown on him. Eventually, he gets him out. Now, this is where you could see where is the mentality of Tyron Woodley. He had no urgency in that mount of Gilbert Burns as well. Now, this is coming from me. I watched the fight on the couch, right? Okay? Maybe he felt tremendous pressure with Gilbert Burns. I mean, if somebody does have a high mount on you and they're raining down punches, if you can avoid taking serious damage, I mean, maybe it's better off to wait for him to gas out and try to explode from there instead of bridging, popping, framing up, and trying to get out of it and burning all your energy there. I mean, Tyron's a veteran of the game. So he just seemed to wait until that one point where he could bridge, explode, get back up to his feet. But that was pretty much the story of this whole fight, was Gilbert Burns was putting it on Tyron Woodley, and Woodley was just waiting for that moment that simply never happened. Okay? That's 2 in a row for Tyron Woodley at 38 years old. I don't want to say he looked like shit in this fight. I mean, Gilbert Burns just looked tremendous. In my opinion, that's how I saw it. It wasn't as much as Woodley looking bad as Gilbert Burns is looking good. But there's a little bit of a concern. Normally, there's not all telltales of a fighter when they're shot, okay? I mean, some of it can be obvious. I'll give an example, like, hate to say it, but Chuck Liddell at the end of his career, as soon as he starts taking these smaller shots and he's going out like that, that is a great sign. The guy doesn't have a chin anymore. But his mind, I mean, to this day, I'm pretty sure Chuck Liddell still wants to go fight. It's just it's advisable against his health, all right? But on to Tyron Woodley, I mean, Tyron just didn't seem to fire off, okay? Seemed like he was waiting for something that wasn't going to happen, okay? Waiting. The offense wasn't there. Just kept moving around, shuffling his head, defending what he could against Gilbert Burns, but nothing was really there to turn that fight around. There wasn't a hunger in him, okay? His corner, Dean Thomas, Duke Rufus, they have a long-standing relationship with Tyron Woodley, okay? Tyron knows exactly what to do in these instances. He just wasn't firing off, okay? He was very humble in defeat. and we'll see where he comes back. I mean, he might even be burnt the hell out. He was supposed to fight Leon Edwards in England just a little over 2 months ago. We don't know, but I would keep a close eye on Tyron Woodley. If you start seeing him just circling away, as he typically does, but not actually throwing fire, not getting explosive in moments of trouble, we may be seeing the end of his career, but hope not. I thought Tyron Woodley was a tremendous welterweight champion, okay? I would put him right under there with George St. Pierre and Matt Hughes for one of the greatest welterweight champions to ever happen in history, okay? So if this is towards the end of Tyron Woodley's career, please, what an incredible feat he's achieved in his career, okay? Even fighting for the Strikeforce title against Nate Marquardt back in the day. But let's not rest on that right now, okay? We'll see how Tyron looks if and when he wants to come back. Gilbert Burns, after this fight, I mean, he was just filled with joy. You could see excited as hell. He's a teammate of your current welterweight champion, Kamaru Usman, and said, I don't have a problem fighting him for all. Okay? He can take one side of the gym. I'll take the other side of the gym. I'll fight him for the title. Look, why the hell not? I mean, these guys are going to be scrapping and sparring and training with each other all the time. Now it's time to put millions of dollars on the line. But pull the brakes here for a sec. Gilbert Burns should be going into a #1 contender fight next. That's how I would like to see it happen. I think there's all kinds of negotiating ploys happening between Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. Look, that's the fight to make. Guys, just figure this out one way or another. That's the fight to make for the rightful #1 contender in the welterweight division. And I think Gilbert Burns, as soon as Fight Island can happen, we can start having some international fighters starting to fight on the card with these fight cards. Leon Edwards has to be Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards, and that's the next contender to the welterweight division. Don't want to hear anything about this Conor McGregor fighting it for the welterweight championship nonsense. All right, those are the fights to make for the welterweight division to move forward. So if you enjoyed the content here today, want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later this week with another video breaking down the Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer fight happening for UFC 250 this Saturday, June the 6th. Until next time,